V'tachazena einenu b'shuvcha le'tzion b'rachamim. 3 times a day, we pray that God should let our eyes see his return to Jerusalem. For 2,000 years, for the majority of Jews around the world, this was just a pipe dream, let alone as a nation state. A few examples that come to mind from characters who are close to our community are Miriam Peretz, who speaks of her illiterate parents in Morocco, telling them bedtime stories of Jerusalem that was paved with gold. Or Rav Sharon Shalom, who visited us last year, who spoke of the legends that were passed from generation to generation in Ethiopia about Jerusalem, the city of old. Or Rav Lau of Pietrzakov in Poland, who made his son repeat over and over, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, before he went on his last journey to Treblinka. But all of these were just a dream. Hayinu kecholmim. We were like dreamers. Even in 1948, when the state was declared, the Western Wall didn't come with it. Yet, for our generation and our children, they know nothing except the centrality of Jerusalem as the center of Jewish life in the Jewish world today. Its freedom, its vibrancy, its holiness. And all of that is down to what happened in 1967. And that is what we come together to celebrate this evening. I remember my first time when I was in Jerusalem for Yerushalyim, having an overwhelming sense of Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem, our days of old being renewed. The old and the new coming together. We've spent a long time, friends together, looking through the stories of Jerusalem in the Bible, the ancient tales. And then we went out onto the streets, and suddenly we were amidst throngs of people, singing, dancing, laughing for hours, parading through the city until we reached the Western Wall, where we continued to dance under the night sky. Tonight, we might not be in the streets of Jerusalem, but that's the fervor that we hope to be able to create. As Jerusalem is strong in our hearts, and we can celebrate together. So Yom Yerushalayim Sameach, thank you for joining us this evening. And now we are going to begin that journey with a short clip from 1967.
News brings you the latest incident to upset the chancelleries of
the Muslim nations in the Middle East would not accept Israel's existence since its founding in 1948. They began amassing huge amounts of sophisticated weaponry and lobbying for the implementation of boycotts, divestment, and sanctions against the Jewish state. On the 15th of May, 1967, on Israel's Independence Day, a 3-week period began, which was one of the most tense and fearful periods in Israel's history. In direct contravention of international agreements, Egyptian leader Jamal Abdel Nasser removed the UN peacekeeping forces and began moving tens of thousands of soldiers and hundreds of tanks into what was the demilitarized Sinai Peninsula towards Israel's southern border. Egypt also blockaded the Straits of Tiran, an open international waterway which was essentially a declaration of war. Israel turned to the nations of the world, primarily to the United States, for assistance against Egyptian aggression, but somehow all Western countries decided to remain neutral. Very quickly it became apparent that the promises were all but forgotten. Israel, with 2.5 million Jews, was left alone to face the might of the Arab nations. Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Iraq, and Lebanon formed a military alliance and began moving forces into Jordan towards Israel's borders. When the Arab countries realized that the world had abandoned Israel, many other Muslim countries were openly calling for the destruction of Israel. The will and means to murder millions of Jews were evident. Top IDF commanders expressed their concerns at the high price Israel was liable to pay in a war with the Arab world. Some military experts projected a toll between 20 and 100,000 lives. Israel prepared cemeteries all over the country, ready to accommodate many expected victims. Massive parks were prepared in Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, and other cities in case the cemeteries would have no more space.
A biblical prophecy comes to pass as the forces of Israel sweep on in an astonishing triumph of strategy. After achieving air supremacy, her forces thrust like an avenging sword at the very heart of Arab self-confidence.
And then, perhaps, the greatest miracle of all, a miracle Israel never expected: Jerusalem. Again, it seemed as though it was a divine appointment in time. Jerusalem was to be restored to the Jewish people. After 2,000 years, enemies of Israel had twice as many soldiers as we did, 3 times as many planes, 4 times as many tanks. The odds were stacked against us on every military front. The love of Israel, self-sacrifice, and courage of the Israeli soldiers, combined with divine guidance and assistance, made these miracles possible. Yitzhak Rabin, then the Minister of Defense, was given the honor of giving the war its name. He chose the 6-Day War, recalling the 6 days of creation, as Israel too was created with the liberation of Jerusalem.
Throughout all those years, Jews around the world had the words of King David's Psalm 137 in their lips and in their hearts and minds. If I forget you, O Jerusalem, im eshkachech Yerushalyim, tishkach yemini. Now, we're going around the corner from our home to the Miller family, who will bring these ancient words to life through music. Please sing along.
Hello South Hampstead, hello everyone. We hope that you are well and healthy. We're very happy that we can be with you tonight on Yom Yerushalyim, where we're thinking of our friends and family in Israel. We're thinking of Jerusalem, and we're going to sing Im Eshkachech Yerushalayim from Psalm 137 for you tonight.
Yerushalayim, tishkach yemini, tibak leshoni lechriki, im lo ezkerechi, im eshkachech Yerushalayim. Tibak leshoni lechriki, im lo ezkerechi, im lo ba'aleh, im lo ba'aleh Yerushalayim al-rosh, simchati al-rosh, simchati.
wish you a Chag Sameach from the Millers, and now back to Rabbi Ellie and Rabbitson Lauren.
Bye.
Millers, that was so moving and hugely uplifting. Thank you very, very much. May you continue to light up our community and the world with your music and talent.
And how apt that as we celebrate the city of King David, who was the first to make Jerusalem the capital of Israel, you've brought to life in your music just as he would always express his feelings through his music. Thank you so much. And now, over to Rabbi Shlomo Levine.
Good evening to our viewers all over the world, including, I've just been informed, the Jewish community of Uganda. A number of years ago, the famous Israeli photographer David Rubinger, who died, by the way, in 2017, visited South Hampstead Synagogue, arranged by our member Ruth Corman, who authored his biography. And before a large audience, he told the story of his iconic photograph of the paratroopers in front of the recaptured Western Wall. Here is a clip taken from a CBN news interview in which he tells the same story.
For more than 7 decades, David Rubinger chronicled the history of modern Israel, from the 1947 UN vote for partition, paving the way for the Jewish state, to many of its leaders like David Ben-Gurion and Golda Meir. Rubinger was there, camera in hand.
In retrospect, consider I was very lucky, because I happened to have a professional life which coincided with the creation of a state. 60 years, that gave me a chance that very few photographers have to really cover a story, an entire story from A to Z.
His most famous photograph came in 1967, during the battle for Jerusalem.
Tell us about the picture that has become an icon in Israeli history.
Well, that night I was, the night before I was in Sinai. I was with the brigade that broke through at Rafiah, and I heard on the radio I had mentioned about Jerusalem. The helicopter came down to pick up some wounded. Nobody asked me, there was no tickets where you should for that flight. I just squeezed in.
In the midst of the Six-Day War, Rubinger flew from the Sinai to Beersheba. He then drove to Jerusalem, stopped for a quick visit with family, and headed straight to the Western Wall.
Rubinger arrived here just minutes after the paratroopers captured the city. The wall was crowded, and in 1967, the distance between the wall and nearby homes was just about 10 feet. So to get a better perspective, Rubinger got down on the ground and began to shoot.
And I was lying on the ground and shooting, and these three soldiers just walked by. I got 3 frames, nearly identical.
Rubinger's photo not only captured the heroism of the paratroopers, but also the end of a 2,000-year-old dream of the Jewish people to return to Jerusalem. Given its fame, Rubinger didn't even think it was the best picture he took that day. He preferred this photo of Rabbi Goren riding the shoulders of the paratroopers. Even so, he chose the negative of the 3 paratroopers to give the government over the Goren photo. Then, in 1967 terms, it went viral.
The government press office started printing and handing out for 2 lira, 2 pounds, which was the equivalent of about 20 cents today, I think. And anybody could buy it, and everybody bought it. AP put it on the cover of their book. I was mad, I was hopping mad.
Years later, Rubinger changed his mind.
And I'm now grateful for all the thieves, because it sort of made my career.
Yeah.
That one picture.
That day at the wall also changed his life, leading to a wave of emotion.
The crying was a result of the 3 weeks that preceded this moment. You must not forget, Israel was in a mood of facing doomsday, everything. Everybody thought, maybe we'll win, but we'll cost thousands.
Instead, Rubinger said the Six-Day War was like life from the dead.
If you're about to die, or you think that your chances of survival are very, very low, and you're not only alive, but Israel is 5 times its size. You've beaten all the Arab armies. You're king of the world. The whole world admires you. You burst out crying.
Rubinger died just a few months before the 50th anniversary of his famous photo. While he often disagreed with Israel's policy after the '67 war, Rubinger felt very special about the country he followed with his camera.
I think it's unprecedented in history that people did in 60 years what this country did in 6 years. From 600,000 people or so in 1948 to 7 million, with progress on all fronts, in all fields. So with all my criticism, with all my misgivings about what's happening now, in the historic view, I think there are very, if any, precedents in history at all that can compare to it.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, the Western Wall, Jerusalem.
And now it's our very great honor to welcome our special guest from Jerusalem, a legendary figure in Israel, 88-year-old Rabbi Menachem HaKohen, born in Jerusalem during the British Mandate, fought in all Israel's wars, member of Knesset for 15 years, former chief rabbi of Romania, and rabbi of the Moshavim movement. Rav Menachem HaKohen.
Shalom,
Well,
shalom.
shalom to you and welcome. A very warm welcome and to you with your son Meron, who's with you in the background there. So, Rav Menachem, we heard that from David Rubinger that this photograph was actually his favorite. And I wonder if you've seen it before.
Yes.
Do you recognize it?
Sure.
Do you recognize anyone in it?
I've got it for sure.
Well,
Right.
of course, we all recognize Rav Goren. Is there anyone else that you recognize in this photograph?
Yes.
Who do you recognize? Who else?
The right side of the picture, holding the hand of Rav Goren, myself.
That's
me.
Hang on a second. Just a moment. The man holding up Rav Goren on the left-hand side, you're saying that is you?
No. The man is the Rav Goren's on his shoulders, holding Rav Goren, is Moshe Pasker. But in the right side, and holding the hand of Rav Goren is me.
That is amazing. So you are a living eyewitness of that historic moment.
Yes.
That is incredible. Well, as a matter of fact, Rav Menachem, we managed to find some other photos of you on that day, and we'd like to show them to you. So just sit back for a moment, and we'll come back to talk in just a second.
Rabbi Menachem HaKohen was one of the first people to arrive at the Western Wall in June 1967. Photographed helping to hoist Chief Rabbi Goren aloft, he is a symbol of faith, courage, and hope as the Jewish nation returned to a piece of heritage it had dreamt of and prayed for over millennia. Through these iconic pictures and his illustrious career in the rabbinate and politics, Menachem is a figure known around the world. Tonight, we welcome him to South Hampstead for Yom Yerushalyim.
That is fantastic. Rav Menachem, tell us a bit about your story and how you happened to be at the Kotel at that historic moment as an eyewitness.
So, I was born, as you mentioned, nearly 80 years old, 88 years old. I was in Yerushalayim. My parents, both of them, were born in Yerushalayim, lived in the old city. So, my early childhood, my father used to have every Shabbat, Friday night, to have Kabbalat Shabbat at the Kotel. So, and it used to take me, my two brothers, elderly brothers, and myself, then we walked to the Kotel for Kabbalat Shabbat. When there was tensions between Jews and Arabs in the 38 or something like that, so it was dangerous to go to the Kotel. So the rabbi of the Kotel at that time, Rav Yitzchok Ornstein, organized with the British, the English police station, that a policeman will take us from the Jaffa gate to the Kotel and wait there till after Kabbalat Shabbat, and then to take us back to the west Jerusalem, to the Jaffa gate. So all my life, I used to down Friday night at the Kotel, except when it was a snow or very heavy weather. We cannot see, but the Kotel was not covered. So, but this is the only time what we used when we did down at the Kotel, except the last 2 months what I'm closed at home because the Corona. So my life was a part. The Kotel was a part of my life. So. And then every time, so from 67, in the 47, the night of the UN Declaration of the Jewish State,
partition,
November 29, there was, from that time on, we wasn't able to go to the Kotel because the Arabs used to burn the whole neighborhood, and they used to shell. They used to sniper was sitting on the wall, and if any Jew they used to see a Jew moving, they used to sniper him and to kill him. So we for 19 years we couldn't be at the Kotel.
How did you come to be there? You were 35 years old, according to my calculation. How did you come to be at the Kotel that day? Were you in the army, or were you together with Rav Goren? What's the story?
Okay, so I was the editor of Machanaim, the journal of the chief rabbinate, the chaplaincy. So, and Rav Goren used to take me wherever he used to go. He used to, even when I was not in the army anymore, he used to come over to my home and say, dress your uniform and join me. So before the 2 weeks before the 6 days war, Rav Goren wasn't in Israel. He was somewhere in Canada, or I don't know where, for the Jewish appeal for the state. So, and he told me, and so we telegrammed him or we phoned him, I don't know exactly, and we told him, Rav Goren, Rabbi, you have to come back immediately because it's going to be a war. So Thursday night, he came back, and I waited at the Ben Gurion airport. I picked him up, and I took him to the headquarters of the, and then he went to discuss with all the military chiefs, and he came back. He said it's going to be a war. So Shabbat was over, Sunday was over. Monday morning, Rav Goren said the war is going to be in the Negev, in that part, in Gaza Strip, and that. So, and let's go to be there. So we went to the Gaza Strip, to Kibbutz Nachal Oz. There was a fence between the Nachal Oz and the Egyptian part. So they cut off the fences, and we went in, but it was a minefield. And when we came in, mines were exploding, and they shelled to us from both sides, and so we stuck to the ground. And Rav Goren was 5 meters from me, and I was not next to him. Like today by the Corona, we cannot be together. So Rav Goren used to take with him a small Sefer Torah and a shofar. So and the shofar was a very big one. What some Jew came to him over before 1956 and told him, I dreamed that I have to prepare for you a shofar to blow in the Mount Sinai. And he gave him that shofar. But that shofar, not to make the story too long, that shofar, when they took it out from the minefield at night, so we together with some soldiers, killed soldiers and wounded soldiers. So, and Rav Goss said, where's the shofar? I left the shofar, it was there, and the shofar was burned. So we didn't have a shofar. But we went to the headquarters, and Rav Goren arranged all kind of cemeteries to bury the soldiers what they were killed there, and then we went back to the headquarters, and we didn't know there's going to be something in Yerushalayim. So, but meanwhile, we heard that the parachutists, the Motagur, and all the parachutists brigade called back from the Negev, and moved to Yerushalayim. So Rav Goren said, let's go to Yerushalayim. So we went to Yerushalayim.
How did you go? By car or by plane, a helicopter? What did you do?
Oh, with Goren's a car, the official car, and he used to have a sirena in it. And when he used to see somebody, he used to remove all the other cars and to
a siren. That had a siren.
Yes,
okay,
so,
right.
so on the castle, on the mount, so there was a big many tanks there, and the commander of the tanks was Uri Ben Ari. Uri Ben Ari was one of the famous fighters in Israel, and then later on he became the general counsel in the Israeli council in New York. But Uri Ben Ari was that time in reserved. So and he was he runs the publishing house of Levin Epstein, and he printed my wife's and my first book, One People, and he asked me, "Do you where's the proofs? Give me the proofs." I said, "Uri, what are you doing now with the proofs, with the books? You are going to capture Yerushalayim." So he said, "Don't worry, we are going from the Nebi Samuel around, and there's no order to came into the old city. There's no order yet." So we came to Yerushalayim, and we went to see Uzi Narkiz, was the chief commander of this part, and he said, we don't know what's going to happen. So far, we are not going to Yerushalayim. We are not going to the old city. So we went back to Tel Aviv, to the headquarters, and we stayed there overnight. In the morning, Rav Goren said, "We are going to Yerushalayim." On the Rav Goren's office was opposite the Prime Minister's office. So when we went out, we see Begin's coming in and other ministers. So there was a united government that time. And we saw Yaakov Herzog, what he was the director of the foreign ministry. So Rav Goren took them and he said, "Ani mashbi'a otcha. I swear me that you are going to take a decision to liberate the Yerushalayim, the Har Bayit." Yaakov Herzog said, "Oh, it will be okay. Don't worry." So we went to Yerushalayim.
He didn't take it out.
We looked to Motagur. They told us Motagur left Beit HaKerem and he went to the Istadrut house in Strasbourg. What?
That's fine. Carry on.
And it was on the roof of the Beit HaIstadrut. It was a big roof, and we watched the battle on the Givat HaTachmoshet. I don't know how to call it.
Hill.
The Ammunition Hill.
Ammunition Hill.
The commander of the mission L was one of my closest friend, Yossi Yoffe. Yossi Yoffe. Yeah, Nishna Hill. Yossi Yoffe, what he was killed later on in one of the in Bikat Yarden in the Jordan Valley. So we looked on the and then Mota said, now maybe we can go to the American colony because we freed the American colony, but it's very close to the old city. So we went to the American colony, and all in Avgore's official car, the lug, a very brown and the modern lug. So we came there, and we came into the Rockefeller Museum. So we came in. There was many soldiers, and many of them from Yeshivat Merkaz Arav, the Rabbi Cook's yeshiva. Sure. So we stayed there for a few hours, but there was nothing what to do. So we went out to sit outside of the Motat Gur said stories, and Rav Gore said jokes, and we went very quietly, like it was a Shabbos afternoon after the Cholent. So suddenly Motat received a phone call that a tanks from Jordanian tanks are moving to Yerushalyim. So and a group of soldiers left, and they took bottles of Molotov bombs, and they stopped the tanks. They stopped the tanks. The tanks went back, but 5 or 6 soldiers were killed there, not far from down from the Shara Rayot, from the Gate of Lions. So and there is still still a monument on their names. One of them was the son of Rav Getz, what became later the rabbi of the Kotel. So and then we get an order to go. We can go to move to Shara Rayot, to the old city. But Mota, before us, he came in with not with the tanks, no, with the command car, and telling to his driver when we came to the gate, Ben Sur, sir, go in.
Who said
Ben Sur after them? 3 tanks were moving to.
Who said this? Rav Goren said it.
The commander of the parachutist. Later he became.
No. Mota Gur, who was the commander of the paratroopers.
Yes. So who was
later on he became the chief of staff. The idea for the Tsar. So, but one of the tanks cannot move, and he was stuck in the middle of the gate, and nobody can go in. So we get an order to go over the tank and to go in, and we run to the Arabite. We ran to the Arabite. All of them were the Arabite, the Mota Gur and the Uzi Narkis and others. They were standing in Arabite and reading statements. But I want to see the Kotel. So I want to see the Kotel. It was Arabite didn't mean to be anything, not anything, but I wasn't emotionally tied to the Arabite. I was never there. But the Kotel I want to see. So I took two of the parachutists and asked them, let's go down to the Kotel. So we went down to the Kotel, and I was the first soldier in the 6 days war at the Kotel. But Rav Goren told me, please, promise me that you will not say anybody that you were the first one at the Kotel. So, okay, I promised him. But what happened after? When I was a Knesset member, and Rabin was a Knesset member, so Mota Gur spoke at Yom Yerushalayim at the Knesset. He was also a Knesset member. And he said, here are sitting two persons. The Yitzhak Rabin was chief of staff in the 6 Days War, and Rabbi Menachem Cohen was the first group that entered to the Kotel. So from that time on, it was not a secret, and Rav Goren couldn't forgive me all his life, but that is the fact. That's the fact. So that is the story in short.
What were your
and,
feelings?
From that time on, till...
Hang on. What were your emotions? What did you feel?
Yes, please.
When, at that Kotel, when those soldiers there, what was the emotion that you felt?
I can hear you. Okay.
Oh, here we are. We're back again. Okay.
Well, you know, there's no other thing in my life what took me so emotionally like that day. So because when the Jewish world all over the world heard that the Kotel was liberated, they were like the when the stand at Mount Sinai, Ke'ish echad belev echad, like one person with one heart. So this moment is never forgotten, and I'm always coming back to it. So that is what I still have on my. We say in Psalm, to build Jerusalem like the united together. So it's not physically united. I'm talking about spiritually. So Yerushalayim shel Mala v'Yerushalayim shel Mata. So it's physically and spiritually. So and that moment is coming to me back from time to time, and I think it's my maybe my best day on my life. So, but I remember, except my marriage with Dvorah, so with Professor Dvorah. But that moment is a great one thing, but I cannot forget all my life. So,
Rav Menachem, it really has been a great privilege to have you with us. Your story is absolutely amazing. To know that we have been able to speak to the person who was the very first person to be back at the Kotel is something which has touched us all. And it is just the most beautiful and heartening and heartwarming story. We want to wish you that you should continue to have wonderful memories in your life. You should continue to be healthy and have so much nachat from your beautiful family, your children, your grandchildren, and you really are a legend. And we want to thank you so much for being with us on the program tonight and for telling us your eyewitness story.
Thank you very much, Rav Levin. So it was a great honor for me to know you, especially when I heard when my granddaughter Tamar was born, not far from your shul. So he was in hospital, and Miron wants to name her. So he came to you and said, I want to name my daughter. So I said, yes. So you gave him Aliyah Cohen, and he named you Tamar. And you said, because usually when somebody is naming his daughter, his family are around him. Because your family is not here, hire your family. And from that time, and that is a great day for me to know you. Thank you very much.
Baruch Hashem, we look forward to seeing you again. Good night, and thank you for being with us. I know it's late in Jerusalem. It's been very special. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so now we have another special treat. We are going to join the Amen singers with Journey to the Western Wall.
אוויר הרים צלול כיין וריח אורנים נישא ברוח ארבעים עם כל פעמונים ובתרדמת אילן ואבן שבויה בחלומה העיר אשר בדד יושבת ובליבה חומה ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור
Well, all of that makes us want to sing and give thanks to God. It's time now for some highlights of Hallel for Yom Yerushalayim. In the green Sachs, Rabbi Sachs Siddur, Hallel is on page 618. In the Art Scroll edition, page 632. And if you are using the Weinstein Machzor for these special days connected to Israel, Hallel is on page 299. Just a few highlights and tunes from Jerusalem. Are you ready, guys?
Yeah.
Let's do this. B'tzeit Yisrael miMitzrayim, Beit Yaakov me'am lohes, Oisa Yehuda lekadsha Yisrael mamshelosav, Hayam ra'av hayanos, Hayarden yisav leyachar, Heharim Rakdu Chayelim Gevos Kivnei Son Malacha Hayam Kisanu Hayarden Tisov Leachar Heharim Tirkedu Chayelim Gevos Kivnei Tzon Melifnei Yadon Chuli Yaretz Melifnei Eloha Yaakov Ha'avchi hatzu Agam hayim Chalamish, please sing along at home Lamanoi mayim Adonai Zacharanu Yevarech et Beit Yisrael Yevarech es Beis Aharon Yevarech Yirei Adonai Haktanim Mimagedolim Yosef Adonai Aleichem Aleichem Yavnechem Baruchim Atem Adonai Oisei Shamayim Va'aretz Hashamayim Shamayim Ladonai Whoa! Hello, Hamitim, yeah, hallelujah. Eloi koyoi de duma, v'anachnu nevarech ya. Me'ata v'yad olam. Na 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 na. Hallelujah, nai nai nai, ya na 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 na. Ya nai na 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 na. You got the spirit, boy. Ya nai na 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 na. Let's go. Ya nai na 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 na. Yom Yerushalayim. Ya na 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 na. Ya na 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 na. Hey hey. Ya na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hallelujah, Adonai. Kol goyim shabbechu, kol ha'umim ki gavar aleinu chastai ve'yemes Adonai le'olam. Hallelujah. Let's do some Hodul Hashems together to the tune of Imash Kechet Yerushalayim. Hodul Adonai ki toi ki le'olam chastai yotan. Hodul Adonai ki toi ki le'olam. Oh, Yomana Yisrael ki le'olam chastai. Hodul Adonai ki toi ki le'olam chastai. Yomeruna ve'saharon ki le'olam chastai. V'yachad together. Hodul Adonai ki toi ki le'olam. Oh, reach for the sky. Yoimruna Yirei Adonai ki le'olam chastai. Tiryanana Hodul Adonai ki le'olam chastai. Thank you everyone for singing along. We can hear you from Uganda and from Potter's Bar. Thank you, the Potter's Bar community, for joining us as well. Everyone from South Hampstead, our dear family, South Hampstead, and everyone together from around the world. Let's go to Odacha. Na 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 na. You know this one? Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. Oh, decha ki ani sani vatehi li shua. Oy decha ki ani sani vatehi li shua. Even moasu ha'apainim ha'isa lerosh pina. Even moasu ha'apainim ha'isa lerosh pina. Me'yeis Adonai ha'isa zais hi nefelas Be'yeneinu me'eis Adonai ha'isa zais hi neflas Be'yeneinu hayom Adonai. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Nagila v'nismachavo. Ze hayom Adonai. Nagila v'nismachavo. Na 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 na. Bahar HaKodesh v'hishtachavu l'Hashem. Bahar HaKodesh v'hishtachavu l'Hashem. Bahar HaKodesh Yerushalayim. 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 And another tune for Imashkachech Yerushalayim. This is probably the most traditional. It transports us, each in our own way, to a special place. Be it a chuppah, the marriage canopy, Jerusalem, special magical moments in our lives, each of us individually and as a community around the world. Please join me for Ana Hashem Hoshiana and Ana Hashem Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Beautiful. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hoshiana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Na 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 na. Ana Adonai Hatzlichana. Adonai
Finally!
Eliata ve'odeka Elohai aroi memeka. Eliata ve'odeka Elohai aroi memeka. Na 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 na. Hoidul Adonai ki tai ki le'olam chastai. Hoidul Adonai ki tai ki le'olam chastai. Shana haba Yerushalayim Hallelujah. Shall we sing it? Na 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 na. Shana haba Yerushalayim. Shana haba Yerushalayim. Hallelujah. Yanai na 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 na. Yanai na 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 na. Next year in Jerusalem. Yanai na 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 na. Nai na 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 na. Nai na 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 nai nai nai. Leshana haba בירושלים, לשנה הבאה, בירושלים הבנויה. Chag Sameach indeed. Thank you, everyone, for that Hallel. And that brings our program to an end. However, in a moment, once we've said goodbye, we are going to launch a bonus after party, back by popular demand, 15 minutes of music from the Levi Levine Ensemble, which was recorded at our recent Lag BaOmer live stream concert. Please enjoy and dance into the night, celebrating Yom Yerushalayim.
Does that mean I'll get to stay up as late as I want?
Not as late as you want, but certainly to dance for the next few minutes. Everybody here, everybody there, thank you for being together. Thank you for the spirit.
And here comes Zoe's finale.
And thank you to Andrea and Levi for helping to produce the show behind the scenes. Thank you to the whole HaKohen family and to everybody who's been involved this evening.
And now Zoe's finale. And stay safe.
Yom Yerushalayim Sameach. And we take Jerusalem in our hearts always.
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
You got it. Let's go for the music.
Finale.
כל הזמן יש לכולנו מגדול ועד קטן, ימים יפים וגם פחות, וביניהם תשובה לכל השאלות. יש אלוקים אחד גדול, ובעולם הזה נותן לנו הכל, בין אפלה לקרן, את הנתיב אנחנו רק צריכים לבחור, וזה הדור החיים הם מתנה, הכל צפוי והשוט נתונה. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש את מלך העולם, והוא שומע אותנו מכולם. מי שמאמין לא מפחד, את האמונה לאבד, ולנו יש את מלך העולם, והוא שומע אותנו מכולם. How you guys have enjoyed everything so far? Abraham Fried. וואו. שמעתי שעושים פה מסיבה בלעדיי, אף אחד לא עושה את זה יותר טוב ממני. היי, נשים את הזרות מאחוריי, עד לא הולך עד שכולכם מגזונים. היי, שמעתי שהתחלתם בלעדיי, אף אחד לא עושה את זה יותר טוב ממני. היי, הראש כבר מסתובב כולם בהיי, לא נעצור עד ש... להיט, קוראים עולה להיט, קוראים עולה ועולה, הכסף כאן עולה, מהפכה של שמחה, כי כולנו משפחה, ונרקוד לטירוף, כי הזמן לא, ועכשיו רק שמחה, כי כולנו משפחה, השתגענו. Can't rock team, sing with me, oi 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 oi, oi 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 oi, oh oh oh, oi 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 oi, oi 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 oi, oh. מאמישה שנפתח למזל, בקשה אחד גבר גבר ברשע, והיא תלחש לו, מה היא תלחש לו, קח אותי לגמל. I'm your beauty, you're my bliss, welcome to the Middle East. סירי, היי היי, בלילה וואי וואי, בסחטיין תל אביב, תל אביב, יא חביבי, תל אביב, תסתכל כמה נראים מסביב. סירי, היי היי, בלילה וואי וואי, בסחטיין תל אביב. עולה לי, עולה לי, עולה ולא יורה לי. עולה We're going to slow it down a little bit. Give you a chance to really sing along. Because up until now, you've been dancing. רק כשהלב נפתח, חובק יד לעולם, חובק יד גדולה, בשיר לאהבה. אם הוא הכל אפשר, זה לא מאוחר, השחר כבר עלה, זה זמן לעבר. Sing with me יחד, יחד לב אל לב נפתח ונראה את האור שבשמיים יחד. בלבלי אותו עד שלא יוכל לישון, בלבלי אותו כמו שבלבלת אותי, בלבלי אותו בלבלי. כמה פעמים אני אמר שזה בחוץ לא בשבילך, כמה רגעים אני אזכיר לך שבחוץ לא אצק נשמתך, ואנשים מול נשבע לך שהוא מרגיש כך בגללך, כל הזמן הוא מבטיח שלא יפגע בך או בליבך. בלבלי אותו עד תעשי לו חשבון, בלבלי אותו עד שלא יוכל לישון, בלבלי אותו כמו שבלבלת אותי, בלבלי ילדו בלבלי, בלבלי, היי, בלבלי אותו עד שלא יוכל לישון, בלבלי אותו כמו שבלבלת אותי, בלבלי ילדו בלבלי, בלבלי אותו בלבלי, בלבלי אותו fires. או להגיד בבוקר חסדך, או להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, באמונתך בלילות, טוב טוב להודות. You sing, come on. Sing with me, come on. Ole Hagid. Sing with me tonight. Ho 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 ho. Tov טוב להודות השם. Mr. Asaf Flumendorf. אם לא אעלה, אם לא אעלה את ירושלים על ראש שמחתי, על ראש שמחתי. אם לא אעלה, אם לא אעלה את ירושלים על ראש שמחתי, על ראש שמחה. One more time. אם לא ירושלים הראש שמחתי, הראש שמחתי, על ראש שמחתי. Yes, we have time for just one more song. Join us on this one. ישנם ימים ללא מגוע, בם לא אמצא לי נחמה, מוכרח אני לנגוע בסביב באדמה, לפסות אותך הדרך בתוך פריגח הקרקעונים, להיות דרכו הכל כך אחר ולי יפרוח ערב הג'הים. היי! רק תהילה אשא כלי כלי שהשמש תעבור עליי ותהל לי שוב אל המסע. אוקיי שהשמש תעבור עליי ותיקח אותי אל המסע, אל המסע. The beautiful voice of Abraham Fried singing this song inspired us to put it in the set tonight. So sing with me one more time. רק תהילה אשא